Welcome to the Make More Money as a Dietitian podcast. I am your host, Christine Diane Thompson, and this podcast is for dietitians who are ready to stop apologizing for wanting more money, more freedom, and a career that actually honors everything that you bring to the table. This is where we ditch the guilt and start building something big. If that resonates with you, let's go ahead and get started with today's episode. Hey there, my friends. Welcome to episode 359 of the Make More Money as a Dietitian podcast. If you're new here, my name is Christine Diane Thompson, and I am a registered dietitian and certified life coach, and I help dietitians make more money. And today, I want to talk to you about something that I believe is costing you way more money than you actually realize, okay? So, first and foremost, let's just picture this scenario, okay? You're explaining your rates to a potential client and you hear yourself saying things like, I hope this isn't too much, or I don't want to price anyone out. Or maybe you're saying, I know this might seem expensive, or listen to this. Maybe you're in a networking group and someone asks you what you charge, and you immediately follow your answer with all these justifications or apologies. Here's what's happening in these moments, my friend. You are signaling to the world and to yourself that you're not confident in what you do. And that lack of confidence is not just affecting how you feel about your work, it's actually directly impacting your income. Okay. Here is what I know for sure, as Oprah would say. Here's what I know for sure after mentoring many dietitians over the years. Your confidence is not just some fluffy personal development concept, okay? It is literally your most profitable business asset. So today we're going to dive deep into why so many brilliant dietitians chronically undervalue themselves and what it's really costing you. And I'm talking, way more than just money. It's not just costing you money. Okay. And I also want to talk to you about how to build the kind of confidence that literally transforms not just your income, but your entire relationship with your work as a dietitian. So let's get started with all of the things. All right. So, first and foremost, I want to give you some real talk. If you've been here for a while, that's my thing. All right. So, we have a confidence crisis in our profession. And it's not because we're not qualified. It's not because we don't get results for our clients either. And it's not because we don't know our stuff, because we do. The confidence crisis exists because somewhere along the way, we were taught that being humble means being small, that being grateful means accepting less, that wanting to be well compensated for our expertise makes us greedy or maybe even selfish. And I hear it all the time. Okay. I should be grateful for my job. I should be grateful for any clients. I don't want to price people out. Maybe this is just how it is for us dietitians. Does any of this sound familiar to you? Because here's what's happening. We're confusing gratitude with settling. We're mistaking humility for hiding. And we're letting outdated beliefs about what dietitians should earn keep us financially stuck. Now, here's what happens when you don't believe in your own value, my friends. You create a cycle that undermines every single thing that you're trying to build. You undercharge because you're afraid of being rejected or called greedy. Then you attract clients who don't fully invest in the process because your pricing signals that the work is not valuable. All right. When they don't get great results, partly because they're not invested, it actually reinforces your limiting belief that maybe you're not worth more. All right. Now, meanwhile, you're working twice as hard for half the income, getting all burned out and starting to resent the very work that you trained so many years to do. Now, here is the truth of it all. I got some hope coming through. All right. So, when we charge appropriately for our expertise, our clients take the work more seriously, they follow through more consistently, and they actually get better results. And this is not about being greedy, it's actually about creating the right conditions for the outcomes to happen. So let's talk about what low confidence is actually costing you, because it's not just about the money, though. We'll just start right there with that. So if you're undercharging by even $50 per session and you see 10 clients a week, that's $500 a week that you're leaving on the table. And over a year, that is $26,000. Okay. We're just doing math because business is math. Okay. And over a decade, we are talking about $250,000. Hello? Anybody get what I'm putting down? But the financial cost is just the actual tip of the iceberg. Here's what actually happens when you're operating from low confidence. Okay. You over deliver because you don't trust that your regular service is good enough. So that 60-minute session becomes 90 minutes. You're texting clients between sessions. You're creating custom meal plans for free because you're terrified that they won't think you're worth what they paid. You attract clients who don't value the work because your pricing signals that the work is not valuable. Then you get frustrated when they don't follow through. But my friends, you actually created this dynamic. You burn out faster because you're working twice as hard for half of the money. And then you start resenting your clients, your work, or maybe even the entire profession as a whole. I've heard talks about it. I have heard talks about the people resenting the profession as a whole. That's a whole different conversation. I probably need to do a podcast episode on that one. And here's the part that really, really gets me. When you don't believe in your own worth, you're actually doing a disservice to your clients. And I want you to really think about that. When you show up confident, clear about your value, and unapologetic about your expertise, your clients, they feel that energy, okay? They trust you more at that point, and they follow your recommendations more, and they get better results. All right. So your confidence literally impacts their outcomes. So when you think you're being humble or accessible by undercharging, you are actually diminishing your ability to help people transform their lives. And I really, really hope that you get this. So let's talk even more about what it takes to build a little more confidence, okay? And I call it profitable confidence. Okay. Because, in my opinion, this is how we fix this. And I want to share with you my 4 pillars of profitable confidence because this is the exact system that I infuse in my coaching with clients. Okay. So, pillar 1 is what I call evidence based self worth. Friends, your confidence can't be built on feelings because feelings are very unreliable. It has to be built on evidence, and you have more evidence than you believe. All right? I want you to start keeping what I call an evidence journal. Every single client win, every testimonial, every breakthrough, I want you to write it down. When someone tells you that working with you changed their relationship with food, write it down. When clients' lab values improve, write it down. When someone says you're the first practitioner who actually listened to them, I want you to write it down because here's what happens. When you get that inevitable rejection, when someone says you're too expensive, when that voice in your own head starts saying, who do you think you are? You actually will have a file full of evidence that says exactly who you are. You're someone who changes lives. I keep a folder in my email called Confidence Boosts. And whenever I'm having a not so great day, I read through those client emails. This is not about being egotistical, okay? This is about remembering the truth of the impact that you make when your brain is trying to tell you otherwise. All right? So that is the first pillar, evidence-based self-worth. The second pillar is boundary mastery. And confidence without boundaries is just people pleasing with a little better posture, okay? Real confidence means protecting your time, your energy, and your rates like the valuable resources that they truly are. This means saying no to clients who aren't a good fit, even when you need the money. I know it's hard sometimes, but we can do hard things, okay? It also means not offering discounts every time someone hesitates at your rate. It means ending sessions on time, my friends, instead of giving away free minutes. And I know this all feels scary at first, but here's what I want you to understand. Every time you hold a boundary, you're teaching yourself that you're worth protecting, and you're teaching others how to treat you as well. Now, when I first started holding really firm on my rates, I lost some clients, okay? I won't even lie about that. But the clients I kept actually respected me more, they valued the work more, and they got better results. And my confidence grew every single time I honored my own worth. So I want that for you as well. Now, the third pillar is value articulation. Okay. You can't expect people to see your value if you can't clearly communicate it. And this is not about being salesy or being pushy. Okay. It's really more so about being clear about the transformation or the outcomes that you provide your clients. I want you to stop talking about what you do and start talking about what happens for your clients because of what you do. So don't say, I provide nutrition counseling. I want you to say, I help women heal their relationship with food so they can stop the constant mental chatter about what they should or shouldn't eat. That's better. Okay. Don't say, I create meal plans for my clients. Instead, say, I give you a clear roadmap so you never have to stand in front of your fridge at 6 p.m. wondering what's for dinner ever again. Okay? The more clearly you can articulate the value that you provide, the more confident you'll feel asking for the money that you deserve. The fourth and the final pillar in all of this is mindset maintenance. You know, I am not going to leave this podcast episode without talking about mindset. Confidence, my friends, is not a destination that you just arrive at, it's an daily practice. And just like you wouldn't expect to stay physically fit without regular exercise, you cannot expect to stay confident without regular mindset work. It just does not happen. So, this means catching those I should be grateful thoughts and reframing them. This means celebrating your wins instead of immediately moving on to the next thing. I am so guilty of that. I have to work on that myself. All right. This also means surrounding yourself with people who believe in your worth, even when you're struggling to believe in it yourself. Now, one practice that I swear by is this: every morning before I check my phone, I write down 3 things I'm proud of from the previous day. Okay. And it doesn't have to be big things. Maybe I held a boundary, or maybe I had a great session with the client. Maybe I charged my full rate without apologizing. Okay. When we do this, it retrains the brain to look for evidence of my competence instead of evidence of my inadequacies. All right. So, what does confidence actually look like in action? Okay. First and foremost, it's not about being arrogant or thinking you're better than someone else, okay? The truth of the matter is that real confidence is quiet and it's steady. It's that unshakable thing that you can recognize in another person. Confidence is stating your rates without justifying them. It's not offering discounts before someone even asks for a discount. Confidence is trusting that the right clients will see your value and invest accordingly. Confidence is also believing that your expertise matters, that your experience has value, and that you deserve to be paid fairly for the outcomes that you create in people's lives. So, here's your homework, my friends. I want you to catch yourself every time you apologize for your expertise this week. Every time you say, I hope this isn't too much, or I don't want to be pushy, but, or even if you hear yourself telling yourself, I should be grateful, I want you to just notice it, because awareness is the first step to changing anything. You cannot transform what you don't acknowledge. And then I want you to practice stating one thing you're proud of in your work every single day. Build the evidence. Train your brain to see your competence. All right, my friends. As we wrap up, here is what I want you to remember. Your confidence directly impacts your income, not just because confident people charge more, though they do, okay? But more so because confidence is what allows you to show up fully for your clients, to trust in your own process, and to create the kind of experiences that people are willing to invest in, okay? You deserve the life and the career that you want for yourself. And if you're ready to stop apologizing for your worth, and start building the kind of confidence that will transform your career as a dietitian, I want you to join our Facebook community. We have over 1,200 dietitians in the Make More Money as a Dietitian Facebook group who are done playing small and ready to step into their full professional power. And I would love to have you become a part of our group. You can find the link in the show notes or just search for Make More Money as a Dietitian on Facebook. Come and find us, share your wins, get support when you're struggling because confidence is contagious, my friends, and we're all about spreading it in that community. All right. All right, my friends, I hope that this episode has inspired you and motivated you to collect some evidence based self worth, if not anything, and stop apologizing for your worth. The world needs what you have to offer, and you deserve to be paid well. Have a great rest of your day and the weekend ahead. I'll see you on our next episode of Make More Money as a Dietitian. Bye for now, my friends. Hey there, my friend. If something in today's episode hit different, I'd love that for you. This week, I invite you to take one action that feels a little scary, yet honors your worth. And for more resources and ways to work together, head on over to manipuracenter.co. Remember, you're not asking for too much, my friend. You've just been settling for too little.